Welcome back, everybody. This is Sam's League, the podcast. This is semifinal weekend here for the playoffs. It's just me and Dan this week. Jack had some other obligations to take care of. Dan, please don't poop yourself and or get in an accident of either kind. Let's say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. Pleasure to see you this week. Very excited to be in the 12th place game. Really looking forward to the beer mile that I'm already running.
Oh, yeah. Beer mile is you're going to have to start training for that one. It's going to be I'm interesting to see how it goes. I kind of want to do one, but like in no way do I want to do one at the same time. So good luck, Dan. We'll get that. We're thinking about either doing that at one of three locations. One, the end of the year party. Two, the golf trip. Or three, it would be at the draft. So TBD on that. We'll figure it out shortly here. But let's get into the quick hits. Congrats to Billy and Joe, first round victories. Each game, so it came down to less than 3 points. The margin of victory, I think Joe won by 2.5, and Billy won by 2, so or just over 2. So very, very close. Thank God for Todd Gurley for not scoring the first 2 touchdowns because he was on a freaking tear in that second half against the Seahawks, was it?
Yep.
So yeah, shout out to Todd Gurley for eliminating Chris from the playoffs. It's a great thing. This is only the second time we've had 2 upsets in the opening round of the playoffs. The first was 2016, and that's in the 10-year Yahoo Fantasy history. So again, congrats to the 5 and 6 seeds, even though Joe was favored, even though he was the 5 seed. But I'm going to call them upsets because that's what they are. Lucky for Jack, he did have the bye because he scored the lowest points of the week in the championship bracket and only, I think, second lowest points overall, only to Buck. So Jack securing the bye obviously proved glorious. You can thank Brendan for beating Chris week 13 for that. Otherwise, it would have been 2 Liberators exiting quickly. And as lucky as Jack was, Alex was just as unlucky because he scored the second most points in the championship bracket, but he ran up against the guy who scored the most in Joe. So unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, Joe had the most and he the second most and eliminated Alex. So there's where we are. And again, Team Skinny Fat beat up on Team Puppet Sud.
I would not say – Hold on. I got a text from Sam, okay, when the projected score was supposed to be like 118 to like 85, and it said, don't look now, but Team Skinny Fat's ragdolling Team Pup and Suds.
It looked like a route.
Now, Robert Woods, who's been the freaking MVP of the past couple weeks, leads the NFL in receiving the past 4 weeks. Help me out, and I ended up going into the final game with the first overall pick, only needing about, what was it, like 11 or 12 points?
I think it was less than 10.
Whatever. He got me 6. But,
yeah. So
it goes to show my season. It was all because of Saquon.
Here's what happened: the worst number 1 overall pick ever again failed to live up to expectations. Because I believe, he was projected 13.4. He got 6.7, and you lost by about 3 points. So, congratulations on that. John,
everyone would have done the same thing.
Excuse me. Shout out to Buck again for most points this week in securing that he didn't finish in last during the regular or postseason, with 120 spot in a big week.
According to Yahoo, he did finish in last place. And actually, I should have played someone different.
Well,
no, I shouldn't have. I should have played Buck. No, wait.
No.
Yeah, I should have played John Schmidt if you truly stood to your task that I finished in last place. No? Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right. You're absolutely right. But
Yeah.
because it's a consolation bracket and no
Nope.
one gives a
Nope.
shit,
You could have updated it. That's bullshit. I'm protesting this toilet bowl game.
maybe you should worry about things on the field and not what you can and cannot control in the Yahoo League. But yeah,
You can control it. You can.
absolutely not. I wanted to play you again, Dan. When have I ever gone 2-0 against you in a year? Pretty sure you've beaten me 3 times in a year. So this is a little payback, guy. But, okay, let's get into the best things we saw last week. Dan, why don't you go first?
Oh, this is hands down the easiest, best thing I saw last week I've ever done, and it was Chris Goggin losing in the playoffs. Absolutely love to see it.
It was fantastic.
As always, my prediction was spot on. Goggin scored about 40 points, and he lost.
I think your projection was it was going to be like 98 to 49. It was one of your closer projections of the year for Chris, so I'll give you credit for that. Shout out to Chris for getting eliminated. Best thing I saw this week was, and no disrespect to the nicest family on Marvine, but I'm so happy we are not going to have another Libitor versus Libitor championship. I need one of these other 3 teams to step up and eliminate Jack in 2 weeks. You have 2 chances to. I root for the board, but I can't see another Libitor win it again. I need. This is like when the SEC won 7 in a row. We need some new blood in the championship. Who's going to be Florida State? Let's see it. Okay, look at a youth rate. But other than that, let's get into picking.
I went the wrong way, Sam.
I don't get lost, please. Eyes on the road. But we'll get into the picks, the quick picks for the week. We'll start in the consolation of the championship bracket. Chris versus Alex. Dan, who do you think is going to win this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris versus Alex.
Don't just give me a pick. You don't got to analyze.
It's Chris Goggin's game. I have to analyze a little bit. It's going to be a tough one here, but I think Alex pulls this one out by a nose hair, 87 to. I'm going to say Goggin goes with 21.
21-87. Okay, that's a fair score. Alex is, I want to say, on a losing streak the last few weeks. So
losing streak. It's like 6 straight, I think.
I don't think it's that much. So let's see. Alex has been on 4-game losing streak coming into this game.
5.
Chris is on 3 to end the regular season between you, myself, and Billy, and then last week.
Whatever.
So I'm going to go with Chris in this one.
Happy birthday, Alex, by the way.
Happy birthday, Alex. Next game, John versus Dan. After the stinker he put up last week, the stinker Favre stick picks put up last week, I'm taking Dan in this one. Dan, I'm assuming I'm going to write your name in as well.
Yeah, nothing like a nice, clean sweep.
I like it. Okay, next up, Battle of the Brendans. We got Hooch versus Dip. Who you got?
Give me Dip. I think Dip's going to come up big.
He's been playing much better these past couple of weeks. Let's see. He scored 120 last week. The weeks, never mind. The 2 weeks before that, he scored in the 50s. So
I mean, his team stinks. I mean, there's no reason for him to win, but it's going to be that classic. Oh, if I had just made the playoffs, he's going to score 130 again, or something.
He's going to score. He's going to score the top 3 amount of points each week. So yeah. He's going to be pissed. I'm going to take Hoochie Coochies in this one. I think Austin Eckler is being Buck's best player proves his downfall. Next game, it's Cole versus me, 7 versus 10. Who you got, Dan?
Let's go with Team Skinny Fat. I like them to get into the 7th place game.
So this will be, I want to say, 1, 2, 3. This will be 4-game win streak currently, finally up to 6 and 8. I'm just trying to get to 500 here. If I can get to 500, the season wasn't a total loss. I'm going to pick myself as well, even though Cole is heavily favored. But now, Bill, into the games that matter. Let's get into it. Dan, you could have the first breakdown. It's Jack versus Billy in, again, semifinal matchup, 2 versus 6. Projections are currently 104.29 for Jack to 94.53. Take us through what you got.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have ourselves a great matchup here between the Gruesome Twosome, again, in their first ever playoffs, making it to the semifinals, and Jack's team. Lamar Jackson obviously has been the fantasy MVP. Most teams that have Lamar Jackson on their team made it to the playoffs, made it to this round. So kudos to Jack for that pick. However, he is a little banged up. I myself have him in a league and I've had to pick up another quarterback. I'm not starting the other quarterback, but I don't know if Jack thought that as well. But, if the Ravens go up big in the first half, you could see them potentially pulling Lamar Jackson. So we'll see. But I still think he has at least a great first half to give him that 25 points. Julio Jones. Excellent receiver.
Oh, they're playing the Jets tonight?
They're playing the Jets tonight. So it's a great matchup. However, I could see them running the ball and Lamar Jackson only throwing it 8 to 10 times in the first half. And if they go up big, I could see them pulling for RG3. I'm just saying.
I'm not against it.
Yeah, Jack just has a superior team. I think Dak actually has a little bit of a lower scoring game this week. He's been killing it, but I don't think he throws for as many yards. Chris Godwin, that's the guy who's probably going to go off because Mike Evans is now out for the season. However, I need Chris Godwin to not perform well. So Jack's team is going to have a great week. He's going to beat Billy here, and it's not going to be particularly close. I think Jack wins scoring 117 to 98.
Wow, okay. So I think Dak against the Rams are starting to find their groove. And I don't want to say that Dallas finds their groove against the Rams, but he has the potential for a lot of garbage time points that I think is going to benefit Billy. And more to your point earlier about Lamar Jackson, Billy has the other complement of that in Mark Ingram. If they're going to run it a lot, if Lamar is banged up, Billy's going to benefit heavily.
Sorry, buddy. Yes, agreed.
So I think it's really game plan dependent on that. I think they are going to get up early, and I don't think they're going to do a lot of running. So we'll see how that goes. Julio and Devon Parker are banged up for Jack and his receiving core, and he's starting Patrick Laird, which I can't believe I'm saying those words. Who else does he have on his bench that he's not starting? Oh my God, David Johnson might be the most surprisingly busted number one, but first round pick of the year.
Week, if I do recall, he scored a touchdown, I believe.
But he only had like 38 yards. He had 19 yards on the ground. He had some yards in the air, and he had a touchdown. The fact that Kenyon Drake is usurped his role in the Arizona offense is crazy to me, but it is what it is. I think now the Billy's team. I think Austin Hooper is going to struggle against San Fran. Mixon's going to struggle against New England. Keenan Allen's going to struggle against Minnesota. So he's really going to have to lean on John Brown's going to struggle against Pittsburgh as well.
The matchups just aren't there for Bill.
No, they're really not.
That's my biggest thing. I actually like his team, but his only really good matchup is
Ingram.
To be honest.
Yeah. This is a tough matchup week. I think Jack's going to take
Godwin,
this. Well, yeah, Godwin too, but I don't think he wins on the back of Godwin. I think Jack takes this, but I don't think it's going to be as close or as spread out as you're saying. I think it's going to be closer to 122 to 115 favor of Jack.
Emerge, you fat cow! Jesus Christmas.
Deep breaths, Dan. Deep breaths. So now let's get into the next matchup. It's Joe versus Brian. I'll take this one to lead off. This is 1 versus 5. Derrick Henry has actually, let me check this. He's on a tear as of late. So he won the last one. Derrick Henry has not lost since I beat him, mind you, in week 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 6 wins in a row, looking for number 7. So it's to have started off 2-6 and now to be 8-6, on 1 win away from the championship. Kudos to Joe on a very big turnaround on the year. But looking at Joe's game and Dempsey's team, Dempsey's got Hopkins and Watson up against Tennessee in the rain on the road, which I don't like a whole lot. However, Mahomes is playing Denver, who they actually just gave up a bunch of points, Houston, even if it was garbage. So I think Mahomes will perform. Let's see. He does have A.J. Brown in there. I know he had a great week last week, but I don't think that he strikes twice in 2 weeks. He's had 3 games on the year over 20 points, so it's not out of the question.
A.J. Brown is he's third in most receiving yards the past 4 weeks. However, they've come in chunks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big old chunks. Going down Joe's roster, he's got Zeke and Derrick Henry, who have obviously been carrying the team all year. Zeke against the Rams, I think he's going to be better than expected, and Derrick Henry's just going to pound the shit out of the Texans. So look to see a lot of points out of those 2 areas. And, wow, he's going with the bold strategy of 2 tight ends with Travis Kelce and Hunter Henry, which I don't hate. Let's see who else he has on his team. I mean, his other options are Darius Slayton.
He's undefeated since he picked up Hunter Henry.
And his bench isn't great, but it's nothing to write home about. Nothing bad, nothing terrible. Brandon Cooks being hurt most of the season really hurts him. Cole Beasley he's been having a good couple weeks recently, but he's going to struggle against Pittsburgh.
Touchdown in 6 of his last 7 games, so I like the move to put him on the bench.
Wow. Well, okay. Yeah. Well, 6 of last 8, but yes.
6 of last 7.
Well, you're wrong. I'm looking at it. So, whatever. Doesn't matter. I like it. I like the dual tight end threat. It's Cole's wet dream to ever have this option. But here we go. Dempsey is chosen, even though Cortland Sutton over Emmanuel Sanders. The last couple weeks, Emmanuel's both been playing great. Don't get me wrong. Actually, Emmanuel, besides last week, has not been playing out of this world, but they do face Atlanta, so I do like the benching because I don't think they're going to be passing a whole lot, and I think Denver's going to be trying to come back against Kansas City, so I do like that. Miles Sanders against Washington. Hoping to God Doug Peterson figures it out that Miles Sanders can carry this frickin' team on his back, run and run, especially against this porous Washington offense or defense. And then he's got Devonta Freeman in there against San Francisco. So let's put a goose egg on that one. Tyler Lockett, as always, is going to show up, and he's got Greg the Leg in. He's been holding them all year for that reason alone before playoffs come around. So I do think it's going to be Joe. Joe takes this one. I think it's going to be closer to more of a spread out game than Billy and Jack. Joe takes it 120 to 97. Dan?
Yeah, really good, really thorough analysis there, Sam. I really liked that. I think, Mahomes might struggle a little bit. Denver played pretty well last week against Houston. They do have a solid defense. However, this game, I believe, is at Arrowhead.
Yes.
Yes, because I remember the Thursday night game was when Mahomes did not play. I was in Denver, so it's going to be it'll be kind of tough. Denver's always plays their rivals pretty well, so I don't think Mahomes is going to have a huge game, but he still should come close to 300 and at least a pair of touchdowns. So obviously a good game from him. Joe's just been relying on these running backs, and they've been producing for him. So I expect nothing less than 20-point games from each of those 2. Dempsey really just doesn't have the firepower to stay with Joe. I mean, obviously Watson and Hopkins are excellent players. They're gonna score some points, but it's gonna be tough. I mean, Cortland Sutton playing with the new quarterback. I'm not sure exactly how he did last week, but you never know what to expect with Drew Lock here. So I'm with you, Sam. I got to go with Joe in this one. and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I'm sorry, Brian, but Joe wins this one 127 to 79.
79. So 126 to 79 is what I heard. Dan, you were breaking up a little bit. I just went back and looked at it. Dempsey hasn't scored over 100 points since week 8 when he lost
127 to 79.
127. Sorry, you're in a dead zone. But Dempsey hasn't scored over 100 points since week 8 when he lost to Alex. I mean, as we all know, he started off the season very hot, scoring 100 in 6 of 8 games and winning the other game as well. And he's been kind of, even with a 69-point win and an 89-point win, he's just been scraping by to end the year, finishing in first. So I really, like you said, I don't think he has the firepower to stay with Joe. I think we're in agreement. We're going to see a Jack versus Joe championship here. Overall, last week for picks, Dan and I both went 2-2. Dan, you're 26-25-1. I'm 34-1. Your percentage is 510. I'm 507. Jack went 1-3, so he's now 21-30-1. Brent dropping his percentage to 413. Jack cannot catch us at this point. It's all dependent upon where we end up on the last couple weeks pick-wise. But today we are pretty much dead set, except for I took Hoochie Coochies, you did not, and you took Alex, I took Chris. So other than that, we'll see how those games go. Otherwise, Dan, do you have anything else for the league as the future beer miler?
That's all for me. I'm very excited for these.
Okay, Dan, you're cutting out. I'm just going to wrap it up there. I'm going to say you're very excited to you're liking slow-mo. It's scary. Yeah, we're turning the teams around. We're going to have a lot of fun. So, okay, everyone, good luck. Watch out. The Skinny Fat's coming for that Turkey Bowl championship or the Toilet Bowl championship.